Hey guys, it's Dave from Golf Ed. This video is going to be all about the backswing. From setup to the top of the backswing, why each move is important, and why we're trying to get to the top the way we are. And what's the purpose of the backswing? All right, check this out. So let's start by talking about setup. Oh, hold on, wait, you said we're talking about the backswing. How come we're talking about setup? Well, you can't have a good backswing if your setup isn't right. So what I want you to do, you can see here that my back is nice and flat. My spine angle is flat. That's going to make it easier for you to rotate to the top of the swing. So really in the backswing, we're rotating around your spine. If your spine's nice and flat, pretty easy to do. If your spine looks like a turtle, then it's going to be a little bit tougher to get to the top of the swing. So what I want you to do, get your good setup, get your butt out, get your chest up, chin up, looking out of the lower part of your eyes at the ball. That's going to get you in a nice flat spine angle. All right, let's talk about the backswing from here. Okay, good. We're in a good position at setup. Now let's take it to the first parallel. So when you're halfway back or the club's parallel to the ground for the first time, I want your club head to be right in front of your chest. And I want your hands to be right in front of your sternum. So everything, sternum, hands, and club are all in a straight line. The reason we want to get there is to create extension, because extension in the swing is a great way to create power, and you're going to have minimal movements. Minimal movements is going to make it a lot easier to get back to the ball. We want to reduce extra movement so you don't have to straighten that out and keep the club square and create power to get back to the ball. And this is what it looks like. Well, I want you to remember the purpose of the backswing is to create power for the downswing and to get in a position where it makes it easier to get back to the ball. If you've managed to get halfway back and your sternum, hands, and club are all still in a straight line like they were at setup, you've managed to get a big shoulder turn early in the backswing. That's going to do two things. It's going to allow you to extend, and it's going to put you in a position where you're creating power so it's easier to get back to the ball without taking it way back. If we can create power with a shorter backswing, you're going to have less movement to get back to the ball. Less movement to get back to the ball, that's less variables to keep the club square. So now we're in this halfway back position. Both arms are straight, or pretty much straight, not perfectly straight. Your sternum, hands, and club are all basically in a straight line. As you go back to 3/4 of the way back, what's going to happen now? This is where I differ from a lot of people. I don't teach a wrist hinge at this point. Your wrist hinge, but they hinge because the club head passes your hands. When you're in this halfway back position, you can watch my right elbow bends. The club shaft travels up my right forearm, or my trail forearm. If you're left-handed, it's your left forearm, obviously. As you go on to the top of the swing from here, or transition to going to the top of the swing, your right elbow bends. The club shaft dissects your right forearm. That's going to keep you on plane. And your elbows are going to stay pretty close together. They don't have to be super close, but I want everything to stay in front of your shoulders, right? So picture a horse with blinders on. Those blinders keep the horse from seeing stuff out here because they don't want him to get in trouble. Think of your elbows the same way. As you go on back to the top of the swing from there, if you have blinders coming out from either side of your shoulders, keep your elbows between those blinders, and that's going to keep you out of trouble. It's going to make it way easier to get back to the ball, is what I mean. All right? Now here I am at the top of the backswing. A couple things I want you to notice. The right leg or the rear leg stays flexed. The weight stays on the instep of the right foot. The reason that's important, we want to start the downswing from the ground up. If you're spring loaded like this, it's easy to turn back through. If you turn back and your right leg straightens out or your trail leg straightens out and your weight gets to the heel and the outside of your right foot, you're put at a disadvantage for pushing back through. That doesn't mean your right leg can't move some. Your shoulders move, and that moves your hips. But I want you to stay focused on keeping the weight on the instep and keeping a little bit of flex in that right knee. The other thing you'll notice is at the top of the swing, my club is pointing at the target. That's for linear plane. When your club is on plane or pointing at the target at the top of the swing, it's easy to swing down in a path that keeps you on plane, which makes it easier to get back to the ball. All right? Hope that educates your game. I'll talk to you soon.